All right, so I'm recording this mid-January. All the dust has settled from Q4, and I want to give you my truthful perspective on Q4, especially as a new seller. You hear so much about Q4. You do 5 times your monthly sales. I want to paint a realistic picture. All right, I remember my first Q4 thinking all of a sudden October 1st rolls around and sales just skyrocket. And then I was like, I must be doing something wrong. And it's just not the case. So, what I want to do is break this down. We'll go over October, November, December, and January because I do think it plays a big part into it, into Q4 as a whole. I'm also going to share with you my takeaway and things that I'm going to do next year. All right. And some other tips for you to prepare for Q4, even at this time of year. So, for anybody not familiar, this was my third Q4, my first doing OA for basically the last 10 months. And it's really opened my eyes. I had my best month ever in November doing $56,000 a month in sales. Then I surpassed that. I did 78,000 in December, which was my best month ever by far. And in January now I'm on pace to do about 60 plus thousand in sales. So these last 3 months, or last two and the current one, have been crazy. So I'm all in on the Q4 wagon. All right. And so let's start though with October. What I really think October is about, and what I would suggest is this is a time to really go back through every item that you've sold. And this is time to replenish them, to refine them, and start stocking the shelves at Amazon. If there's one thing we all know, it could take weeks for products to get in there. And especially if they're seasonal products or time sensitive due to Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holidays, whatever, you want to really give yourself adequate time so that they get on the shelves. Okay. To me, that's really what October comes down to, doing a lot of research on what has worked for you and get as much of it in as you see fit into Amazon's shelves. And by the way, come mid-November, December, which we'll get into, I'm projecting 3-4 times the amount of what I would normally expect for those sales, truthfully, especially for a lot of products. Now, it's always about the data, but as a general blanket statement, okay? So that's the first thing I would say is you want to start buying more. All right. Moving past October, or before we even move past, let me say, because we're talking about products you've sold, something I wish I could have done from day one, which I've made a huge shift to improve, is keeping track and detailed track of the products that you've bought. Now, not only the products you've bought, but also products that you've come across where there's maybe not enough profit. It's a good seller, but just right now, I need an extra 20% off for this to make sense. Keep a separate tab of that. Same for anything that's out of stock, right? And the reason for that is because we will get into it, but November and December, there's going to be opportunities to take advantage of that. So trust me, you've already done the hard part by finding these products. Spend an extra 30 seconds and having nice notes and different tabs and pages in Excel, Google Sheets, whatever. You will thank yourself. And I'll talk about more how that's my future plan towards the end of this. So October, getting the stuff on the shelves, getting ready, getting your supplies in check. Then November comes, okay? Now it's time, especially in the first half of November, to really do more of that. See what's selling in October, replenish those, keep finding new products. But the sales really start to bump, I would say mid to maybe the 20th of November. So halfway through to the 20th, I at least saw a noticeable shift. But what really happens, and again, now you want to get stuff in stock because December is approaching and you just want to make sure you have enough time. The real turning point of Q4 is Thanksgiving. Okay. Not only do sales skyrocket, as in the people buying things, but the online retailers, the sales are incredible. I mean, literally from like Thanksgiving and Black Friday all the way basically to Christmas, I saw huge sales across the board. Okay. So December is a crazy amount of sales time in general. People are buying gifts, they're getting ready, they're hosting, all of that stuff, just more eyeballs on Amazon as a whole. But as a seller, for me at least, my catalog is not toys and it's not games. And I wasn't going to switch it in Q4 just because that could make me money. Instead, for me, my whole philosophy has been double, triple, quadruple down on what has already worked for me, what I know. Now is not the time to change it. The previous 9 months are the time to figure that other stuff out and to network and to learn, but not now. Now is not the time to change. And that's what I would tell a friend. Double, triple down on what you already know works for you. Okay. And you can have great success with that. That's what I did. All right. And so now I'm buying all of these things after Thanksgiving, and some I want to get there before Christmas, but a lot of them I don't care. I'm just buying them at such a deep discount. For instance, I remember there was like Rakuten was 20% cash back, plus every site under the sun is 30% off for at least a couple weeks, it seems like, out of the year between November and or Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? And you're combining all of these discounts and opportunities, and this is why it's so important to have a detailed list. This is the time that basically your entire list, your entire catalog of things you've sold or kept track of, this is your opportunity to buy it at a price that it can be profitable. And the biggest thing that I've learned is that this well trickles past December. Like I said, I'm in January, mid January, and I'm on pace to have my second best month ever in 3 years. Not to mention, I didn't even think about like January is a huge opportunity for the fitness and health space, and I do a ton of vitamins. The sales have been crazy. Also in January, you have people that have got gift cards, returns, exchanges, and things of that nature. So overall, Q4 is really like this 4 month process. But even beyond that, now that I see the magnitude and the strength of Q4, to give you context, I did 80K, my best month ever. I think I'm going to strive for 200K next December because I will just go full gorilla because it is so obvious to me the opportunity. And even if it's 1 month of just going, nonstop every day, it's going to be worth it because your ROI on your time in December with Amazon is through the roof. It's the real deal. Like, I get it now. What everyone was telling me, my first two Q4s, I didn't really get it. I get it now. And I also want to mention to those that are newer, don't be discouraged. Don't compare yourself to other experienced sellers. Stick with it and you will absolutely get there. I remember my first Q4, I was only good with a couple stores. I was only a couple months in. So there was a store that a chain I went to, there was like 5 in my area. And then I went to another 5 3 hours away in a different city, and another 5 3 hours away in a different city. And I would get a rental car and a cheap SUV. I did the best with what I knew then. You don't have to become rich overnight. You're not going to. This is a long-term play and a great opportunity. Do what you know, stay consistent throughout the year, and then double or triple when it comes to November, December, January, and then just rinse and repeat. And you're going to continuously learn more and more and more throughout the year. So, anyway, overall, Q4 is the real deal. I love it. I can't wait for the next one now that I know and got a taste of it. And it's also really opened my eyes because it forced me to source a lot more. Now, if I just continuously source that much all the time, of course, I'm going to have an increase in sales regardless of the time of year, right? Consistency, action, reps, it compounds. Consistency compounds. That's kind of the overprint of how I see Q4 in a truthful lens. I do think it's winding down. But man, Thanksgiving to mid-January, it's been good. And I look forward to growing and going from there. I'm Jonathan. I appreciate you guys being here. Duke does Amazon. We're on Spotify. We're on Instagram. We have discount links below if you need any of those tools or subscriptions. I only put ones that I vouch for, that I use. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.